Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And we're talking about Prokofiev. Lots and lots and lots of Prokofiev. The more I listen to him, the better he gets. Frankly, Prokofiev was always compared somewhat, unfavorably to Shostakovich. And there's no question that Shostakovich has I think a deeper and more tragic and darker emotional outlook than Prokofiev did. Prokofiev was more cosmopolitan. He spent a lot of time in the West, and then he returned to Soviet Russia, which everybody thought was sort of nuts. And his wife got locked away in a prison camp, Lena Prokofiev, for like a bazillion years so that he could, marry his girlfriend, or what was her name? Mira Mendelssohn, I think was her name. Anyway, the bottom line is he had sort of he's an enigmatic character, as I pointed out before, and his music is that way too. And it is patchy. I mean, there's good Prokofiev and not as good Prokofiev, whereas Shostakovich is probably more consistent. But I will say, the more you listen to him, the better he gets, because he had character. And when a composer has character, has personality, and a distinctive style, that's half the battle. It really is, because in the morass of music that we call classical, what you really want to be able to do is distinguish things, recognize them, and enjoy their personal characteristics. And if you can do that, then whether you're an artist of ultimate greatness or most profound whatever is far less important. It really is. And Prokofiev had character in abundance. So let's talk about this clump. Here's the clump, which, speaking of character, has some rather interesting things in it, I must say. Here, for example, Rachmaninoff Third Piano Concerto and Prokofiev Third with Santiago Rodriguez, and the Sofia Philharmonic and under Emil Tabakov on Elan. Elan was the label run by Rodriguez's wife, which they set up to record him, because Rodriguez was a fine pianist. I mean, he still is. I don't know what he's doing now. These were recorded in, do we have a date? Why would we have a date? They were in Adelphi, Maryland. I remember that. And I was in college in Maryland in 1989. Well, I wasn't in college then. I was out of college by 83. So here they were, and they're quite good. They're exciting. I mean, Rodriguez was really an exciting, passionate pianist who didn't have, I don't know whether he wasn't a competition winner or he was a competition winner. He was operating outside of the box, on the fringes of the classical music military industrial complex. And he made a few recordings for this label, and they were around for quite a while. And I've kept them because they are good performances. They really are. And fun and interesting. And he's a name that does not deserve to be forgotten. So there you go. And it's really just first rate. Prokofiev, Piano Concertos 1 and 3. Oh, yeah. Of course, with the Third Sonata. This is classic. Gary Graffman, George Szell, the Cleveland Orchestra. One of the great Prokofiev Piano Concerto recordings. Everybody agrees, and they still should, because they are splendidly marvelous. I mean, Szell, it's Graffman. Graffman was fabulous, too. Good stuff. Just good stuff. Then we've got the Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto with Prokofiev Third. The third is another classic version with Martha Argerich and Claudio Abbado in the Berlin Phil. And the Tchaik is with the Royal Phil and Charles Dutoit. Remember, Dutoit and Argerich were married for like 15 minutes, and they made a few records at the same time. They were married along, for enough time to make a couple records. And this was her first version, because she remade the Tchaikovsky with Abbado and Berlin and digital, and it immediately became the reference recording. Oh my God! Well, it should be the reference recording. It's incredible. It's just incredible. One of the greatest recordings ever. Let's put it that way. And this was great too. Until that one, this was one of the best ones out there. It still is. Obviously, it hasn't diminished in quality. It's just that, Argerich even surpassed herself in her remakes. And it's somewhat sad to remember that there was a period when she would surpass herself in her remakes. Now, she never is as good in her remakes. Or at least that I've heard hasn't been as good in her remakes. It's all been slowly descending. And that's the sadness of it. So we can enjoy this back from when she was just phenomenal. And the Prokofiev I saw her do the Prokofiev. She re-recorded that too, by the way, with Dutoit, actually, after they weren't married, for EMI. And that was quite good too. It was wonderful. And I saw her do it live, and it was incredible what she could do with her pinky. I mean, it was amazing. She could go like repeated notes with her pinky, like this. It was like, wow, look at that pinky action. She was phenomenal. All right, what else have we got here? Okay, Van Cliburn doing the third with the Chicago Symphony and Walter Handel, and the Schumann Concerto with Fritz Reiner, recorded in 1960. Oh, yes, those were the days, weren't they? I mean, this is also classic Cliburn. Very good, perfectly solid. But, you know, when you've got Byron Janis, and you've got Martha Argerich, and you've got Gary Graffman and Szell, you've got John Browning and Leinsdorf, who we talked about in the last video. I mean, you know, it's a lot of competition. And Cliburn is not that he's not up to it. He's just not as thrilling as they are. He's just not. It's the truth. Oh, more of the Rozhdestvensky ballet series on whatever label it popped up on. This is actually Melodia. It's Melodia on Melodia. Well, no, it's not really Melodia. It's Melodia Zyx, ZYX Music, where they had piles of Melodia stuff coming out for a while. It's like, who is Melodia going to show up on this week? What label will Melodia license themselves to? And there was a point where they were licensing themselves to multiple people simultaneously, with all of the legal dubiousness that implies, and that was fun. So here we've got Le Pas d'Acier, the Steel Step, and On the Dnieper, both ballets complete with Rozhdestvensky's, their first-rate performances with Rozhdestvensky, that's the guy. And this is more of that. Shoo, the Buffoon, also excellent. It's a wonderful ballet. It became the Fourth Symphony, or at least bits of it did, and it's terrific. It's also with Rozhdestvensky. The Scythian Suite, The Love for Three Oranges, Symphony No. 5, Antal Dorati, the London Symphony, and the Minneapolis Symphony. Now, the Scythian Suite and The Love for Three Oranges are with the London Symphony, and they're excellent. The Fifth Symphony is with Minneapolis, and it's fast and glib and completely forgettable. Yeah, I mean it. Then we've got, let's see, Violin Concertos 1 and 2, Violin Sonata No. 2, with David Oistrakh. Now, the first concerto with Lovro von Madicic conducting was on Testament, and that popped up a couple videos ago. And this is going to be in the big Oistrakh box, as I keep saying. That's coming soon. The second concerto, this is with, let's see, the Philharmonia and Alceo Galliera, and the sonata is with Vladimir Yampolsky. That was also on a Testament recording we talked about a few videos ago. This is the EMI Great Recordings of the Century reissue. Are you beginning to get it? How crazy this business is with the reissues and the licensing to other labels and then reissuing them anyway and then reboxing them and reissuing and Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes. Violin Concertos numbers two, with Maxim Vengerov and Rostropovich conducting the LSO. Excellent. Absolutely first rate. Great Prokofiev second concerto. It's the more popular of his two, of course. And the Shostakovich too, which isn't popular at all, but which is a very powerful work. Extraordinarily well done here by Vengerov. And it's wonderful to see those recordings again and think about them, because they were wonderful and they still are. And then, last but not least, this is hot stuff. Muti and Philly doing Romeo and Juliet Suites 1 and 2. They're not complete Suites 1 and 2. There's like a couple numbers they didn't do, but it doesn't matter. This is just sizzling, fabulous Romeo and Juliet Suites, and an amazing Pines of Rome too. There were always, in the digital era, sonic issues with the Philadelphia recordings, finding a venue and making them sound good, which EMI had gotten down pretty well in analog days with like the Rite of Spring and Pictures at an Exhibition and the Firebird Suite and that stuff. Then digital happened and everything went to hell for a few years till they figured out how to use the technology. So these are a little bit congested, sounding a little glassy maybe, but I don't care, because the playing is white hot in all these works. This is just tremendous, phenomenal. One of the great Romeo and Juliet recordings for sure. So that's exciting and a great way to end this. What is this? The sixth of our Prokofiev random reviews from the Overflow Room videos. And there are quite a few to come, trust me. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.